Welcome back. The bond hearing for Tammy and Sydney Moore lasted nearly 2 hours today. People inside that courtroom say it was more like a trial. Lisa Greshey was there and has a look at what pieces of the puzzle were brought to light today. Lisa?
Despite denial of the Moore's bond, Sydney's attorney, Kirk Truslow, says he's feeling optimistic, thinking all of the evidence presented in court today is all the state has, and Truslow says it's nothing he didn't already know. A lot of this evidence was for what everyone else wanted to know, some more pieces to the puzzle to what led to the Moore's arrest in this case. Runtime, crowd, and tightened security, this hearing was more like a trial. Tammy and Sydney Moore dressed in dark business clothing. You can see Tammy's blonde ponytail, Sydney seated to the right at the other side of his attorney. The Moore's relatives and Heather Elvis's family and dozens of onlookers all waiting to learn if the couple would be released on bond. It wasn't the result either Tammy or Sydney Moore's attorney had guessed. The state brought forth evidence they have kept a secret. It included a PowerPoint presentation and details of a series of text messages they say Tammy sent to Heather, including a threatening text message they say Tammy sent her in November after learning about the affair involving her husband and Elvis. The state also gave a timeline of phone calls between Heather and Sydney Moore up until she left for and arrived at Peachtree Landing. The prosecution also released details of the surveillance video prosecutors say showed the Moores' truck heading to Peachtree Landing, the place they say the Moores kidnapped and murdered Heather on or about December 18th. Also released details that Sydney agreed to being handcuffed to the bed for a 6-month probation period after Tammy found out about the affair.
One thing that surprised me the most was to hear that she would handcuff him to the bed so that he couldn't go out. I just find that really just crazy.
Heather's father, Terry Elvis, also asked the judge to protect his youngest daughter. "I can't have another child go missing," he said. Horry County Police Chief Sandra Rhodes also urged the judge to deny bond, saying officers had been to the Moore's home almost 40 times since detectives started investigating. She said she feared violence at the home if the couple was freed on bond. Despite the evidence, Sydney Moore's attorney is still standing strong by Moore.
But I mean, I'm very optimistic about this case, particularly after having seen everything that the state has or thinks they have and what they don't have. So I'm even more confident in my client's position at this point.
Tammy's attorney also coming to the defense when confronted about the wording in the text messages Tammy allegedly sent to Heather. The text messages were shown as evidence.
First of all, some of those messages, we're not sure those messages are real, okay? And so we'll be trying to sort through that. But at the same time, being angry at somebody for having an affair with your spouse is something that I think most people experience, whether they contact someone or make a statement on a text or email.
Judge Stephen John then made his decision loud and clear. Decision based off the potential violence that could occur and the fear for both the Moore's safety and the safety of others.
The court's decision at this point in time is to deny bond for these two defendants.
When it came to comments after the fact, the Moores used their coats to hide from the media, quite literally. Here you see Tammy's sister throw her coat up and over the camera in the corner behind the officer, followed by another Moore supporter holding her coat over her face, and at the end another Moore using his suit jacket to cover the family as they waited for the elevator. Tammy's attorney admitted that the state's presentation was more than what you would typically see. Sydney's attorney also tells me his biggest concern is the wait time until the trial. He says with a case like this, it could take a very long time. He says they could revisit bond if the trial isn't brought to court in a reasonable amount of time, but it's hard to say what that time is. Live in the studio, Lisa Greshey, WMBF News.
All right, Lisa, thank you for that. And since Heather was last seen in December, there have been several developments in this case. Searches by police and the Q Center, arrests, statements from Heather's parents, national attention, and local prayer vigils. We've broken the entire case down for you on WMBFnews.com right here. At the bottom of today's bond hearing story, you can find this timeline.